Hello friends, welcome. I'm going to give you guys a moment to log in and we're going to do a Love in the Zodiac lunch mini, and we're going to invite a guest on as we usually do, and we're going to have a little discussion on charts, on someone's personal chart, as well as I want to also invite you guys, when I do these love zodiac readings and zodiac charts, again, we always put it out there if you want a free reading or a mini reading, to DM us. And so people joined in and they DM'd us and they want a mini reading. Now, the thing is that if you want to, oh, sorry. Sorry about that. We're losing our screen here. If you want to join in and follow the karmic reading that I do, you can do it yourself. That's what's cool about the way I read someone's chart is go to my website, iDeserveItNow.com, tap on tools, and you'll see free birth chart or free chart. Go input your information, do a download of a free reading, and you will get the info you need regarding your chart, and then you can follow along and see where your hot spots sit in your chart or in your reading for the day. So if you ever want to follow along and you're like, wow, how is she, does she do these readings? And I don't do them often, but you can find these hotspot readings on my website. Just go to the shop and you can see a hotspot reading in there. So if you want to join, you absolutely can. But when I do these hotspot readings with people, I like people to understand that you can all go look at your same hotspot yourself. And so, thus, we're going to do a reading. I'm going to invite a guest on here in a few minutes. And we will bring on Kristin, who, let's see if I can get her on to discuss hers. Now, a lot of you, let's see, there she is. We'll see if we can get her to join on with us. So a lot of people ask me about astrology all the time. And what I want people to understand is with astrology, there is no woo-woo. It's nothing special. It's just a language, right? It's a language of energy that's floating through the sky, floating through the universe, floating through this galaxy. And if you can understand how to read or understand that language, you just have, like you've read a new book, right? When you read that new book, it changes the game. And it looks like our guest is here. Hello, Kristin.
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good. I'm in my school car line picking up my boys from school, so excuse my car background.
Yeah, no worry. We're gonna do a mini reading. And okay. Did you get your chart that I had sent you?
I didn't actually. I couldn't find it in my email. I checked my spam, but it wasn't there. Okay.
I'll send it to you again. You don't need to see it because we don't share these on the screen anyway, so I don't want people to have your personal information. But it is in there. And so I want to welcome you to everybody that's on the call. We're going to do a mini love and zodiac discussion with you. And I don't want it to be all me talking. So if something comes up or, how I typically read when we do a mini chart, or all charts that I read are karma, right? We all come into the universe and we all are like a soul that's like having this discussion with some higher power and higher dimension, whether it's God for you, whoever it is. And you're like, hey, I don't want to go do that anymore, but I want to go help the people. And then, source is like, yeah, no, you're going to have to learn this lesson. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that this time. I choose this way. And beep, we're born and we come through the galaxy and we come through the universe and we get imprinted like a tattoo with energy. And that energy of the universe and the planets is like a tattoo of basically your blueprint, your map. And so now you have a user's manual that, in my mind, why wouldn't we use it, right? Why wouldn't we use it to gift you a better way to overcome some of the challenges that you try to avoid and you didn't get out of it? So we set ourselves up for these challenges, right? And so while I'm kind of going over some of the mini basics, I want you to think through something that the biggest challenge that you have in your life right now. and how it's being impacted by these four, as I call them, hot spots. A lot of people feel like they're boulders that sit on top of them, right? Like these boulders that sit on us. They're really not boulders. They're just classes we don't want to go to. It was like me not wanting to go to chemistry class in high school and in college and twice in college. Like I just couldn't stand chemistry. It didn't mean that I couldn't study harder and learn it. I just didn't like it. So that's what these are going to be in your reality. Okay. So again, everybody who's on the call, if you do want to follow along, I do discuss different houses in the charts. And so anyone can go onto my website under tools and you can go download a free birth chart. You can follow your own hotspots. So what I'm talking about first is your first, more important is people mostly believe like, they're like, okay, my birthday is, I'm a Virgo, i.e. you. You're a beautiful Virgo and a beautiful sign. My husband's a Virgo, so I'm a little bit, you know, biased towards Virgos, but your Virgo, and when we look at your chart, your Virgo, they're the sign of the Virgin, right? They're the sign of perfection, purification, of organization. So sometimes they're either one way or the other when you meet Virgos. They're either incredibly anal and organized to the point where it's obsessive, or they like, I can't take it anymore, and they're messy, right? Or are you one or the other, or are you in the middle?
Oh no, I'm super type A, anal, like OCD organized for sure.
So, and again, it's very typical of a Virgo. So it's not a negative. It's only when I talk about each sign in the zodiac, everybody has their high frequency and low frequency. You have to just make sure that it doesn't get to the point where the low frequency starts pulling you down. So when we look at our low frequency of our signs, being so type A can get you stressed out on over anxiety. And then of course, Virgo rules digestion. So you can have stomach issues or that digestion stomach issues will play out later in life because you haven't allowed your body to just relax. Make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So the higher frequency is where the sun sits in our charts in your fourth house. So when we look at a fourth house on the zodiac wheel, the fourth house rules home, mom, security, foundation. So for you, you're a mom sitting in the carpool line, like it's very important to you. You shine where the sun sits. And so for you, you shine where you being a mom and making security and foundation for your family and for your children is very valuable for you. So it's easy for you, right? That's one of the things I don't have to teach people because it's not one of your hot spots. Your hot spots are something else. This is like piece of cake. Momming is easy for me, right? And for some people, momming is not easy for them. You know, some people mothering is a very, you know, difficult. And so for you, you can get conscious over details of issues, health issues, also of your children, where you're overly neat, overly perfectionist, and they might suffer some of it. So watch yourself there where you're not smothering to bring your own energy onto them when that's not their hotspot, their life purpose, right? Their energy. You love to work. They're one of the most persistent signs in the zodiac. So if you want something bad enough, you're gonna get it, right? Like that's a Virgo. They're relentless, which is I love about them because some signs give up too easy, and Virgos don't. They won't give up. They're very, very, tenacious. Great conversationalists because they're ruled by the planet Mercury, which is the communication planet. So you're very good at talking and analyzing and good at details. And so these are all the good things. So your mission in life is kind of, pursuing goals and bringing love and striving to excellence in like all things you do. I want it perfect. And so you have to watch that it's not over the top, right? Yeah. And so again, the fourth house is that vital force of being nurturing, but I want you to watch something, not just nurturing everyone else, but nurturing yourself.
Oh,
how are you at how are you at that one?
I put myself last. Mm-hmm. I'm fully aware I put myself last. I don't do things for myself. I'm always putting everybody before myself. But it's one of my goals this year to really try to at least like once a month give myself like some self-care. So like whether it's a massage or whether it's going out and reading a book, like I am really trying to strive for that because I know that is my weak link. Beautiful. Your task in this lifetime where that sun sits is to kind of learn what types of family experiences truly nurture you. Like you said, overgiving, overdoing, going, okay, those 4 things are crucial, really important. But the rest, I got to learn to let go again, so that way I can
oh, I have time, because you're not falling into everything being just those crucial pieces. And now you have time for those things. And now you don't have guilt because it's all balanced. So it's always going to be there for you. Non-negotiable. That's always going to be a thing for you. So you're going to have to find that most crucial pieces, and the rest of the time does go back to you. Cool?
Yes.
Okay. Then we go, okay, sun, moon, rising, right? We're not just a Virgo. And so when we're born, there's a moon sign. The moon is sitting in a constellation, and you were born with the moon. And we're going to go look up at the 10th house, which rules career. Now, I'm going to bring this up because I'm an Aquarius and you have an Aquarius moon. And the cool news about having an Aquarius moon is it's the coolest sign in the zodiac. Joking. I'm just kidding. So Aquarius is the future right now. Everything is the future is Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius. In about 10 days, we move Pluto, which is a generational planet, the furthest out in the galaxy, moves into Aquarius for 20 years. So there's a part of you that's feeling this, something's about to change, not just in my life, but in reality, and I'm part of this mission. It is, because your moon is where the highest highs and the lowest lows happen for people. And for you, it's in your career. So the challenge for you is like, I'm here, I want to help the masses, which Aquarius rules the masses, it rules humanitarian. So you're struggling with this Virgo sun, Aquarius moon, helping everyone up in career, but you're like, wait, but I got to help my family, but I got to go help everybody else. And you're literally going to get, you're going to get spread so thin that it's going to wear you out. So I'm glad we're doing this discussion so you can go, okay, Dawn told me I've got to learn what's crucial and the rest is for me. Because you will be able to spread yourself out pretty good if you keep balance. You can get a little unstable, a little erratic, because Aquarius is sunburst in, sunburst out. So you would probably do well with careers that are more consulting based, where you're in, you do your best badass stuff, and then you get out. And it's the same kind of career, but it's emotionally, it makes you feel better. The challenge with the moon in the career house is that you only feel high when your career is high. And then when your career isn't doing so great, you start to have lows, right? Because that's the high-low space.
Yes.
And so I want you to watch that. Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, 100%. It totally resonates. Like, I'm a virtual assistant, so that career path that you painted out, it's exactly what I am.
Okay. So you're on the right track of doing it in that form, because the other thing about virtual assistant is Aquarius rules technology. So your moon in Aquarius, in the in and out energy in your career house is exactly where you're meant to be. It's just going to push you to say, don't lose yourself to too many, because Aquarius wants to do too many. That's it. So you have this great originality. They're the sign of the future. They're the sign of space and science and tech. And so as long as it's running, weaving through that industry or world, or letting you have freedom, because again, Aquarius rules truth and freedom. So as long as those two are in there, your heart and your emotions will be great. The challenge here, though, is, and I tell Aquarius moon people, is Aquarius rules intellect, thinking, and the moon rules feeling. And so you tend to think through everything and you forget to feel it. You forget to go, what does this feel like? And once you've gotten out of control, that's when the feeling kicks in and you feel down. So it's not an easy place to have the moon. It's just that you emotionally need to be intact with the rest of the world, because part of your chart is that. It's easy for you to take care of you and your family and lose yourself in that. And the world is needing your brilliance, in a sense. It's kind of that simple. So thus, this was one of those moments where you and Source said, yeah, you need to do this. You're like, no, and beep, you were born. You're like, oh, darn it. You didn't get out of it, right? You set yourself up. And so your career, having the moon, whenever someone has the moon in the career house, it's always going, when someone's like, oh, business and career aren't everything, Kristin, money's not everything, to you it is. So don't let them, don't let them try to sell you out of it. It's important to you, okay? Especially acceptance in your public career. Like when you go do something or a project for someone, you want it to be really important and valuable, like good. You don't want it. Okay. So prestige matters to you, a big deal. So that's, I never want you to think, oh, my overthinking this. You're not. Very ambitious. You're very driven. You're a really good leader. You're probably very confident in your leadership skills. You don't have really a hard time being in charge. The leadership ability comes out like driven, It's just that underneath sometimes, like I said, I want you to not question the self-worth. Like, is it enough? Do you ever do that?
Okay.
Or is it enough?
And yeah, and that's a hard spot for me, is I question myself a lot.
Okay. I want you to think of it from this perspective, like, am I serving the best interest of the community? Whether they liked it or not, doesn't matter. Did you do it from your heart of what's in there? Like, what's best for them right now? What do they need? And did I give them my best? That's it. That's what this will always do for you. You'll just grow out of the needing them, because the Aquarius is outside world, the communities, humanitarian, the globe, right? So you're in this outside in energy all the time emotionally, and you have to flip it and go, wait, inside out, am I giving them my best to help their community? Yes, my best was for that. So if it comes from inside out, it'll help you kind of balance this perspective out from your moon, because the moon is that hot spot that, as long as we master the moon, it's where our emotions lie. So it's where we have high, low, high, low, high, low. And your goal, instead of being high, low, is to do this at work, in your career, in your emotions. And then the moon rules mom, and the moon rules mom, and mom energy is down in Virgo in your 4th house going, oh, but if I'm out there too much, I'm not here with the kids, and I'm not home, and I'm like, you're playing this like,
it
holy
is a constant
cow.
struggle.
Yeah.
Constant struggle.
I can see that. And so that's why now you know why. So you don't allow it to take you down, right? You can go, oh, Dawn told me, pick 4 crucial pieces that are most important, fill that, and then back out. And you'll know how to not do it this way, and do ebb and flow. Cool?
Yes.
Okay. So that was hotspot number 1. Hotspot number 2 I look at is it's Saturn. And the planet Saturn is literally the hard knocks planet. It's the lesson teacher. It's the boulder teacher. It sits on us our whole life. And we're like, what's wrong with me? So we avoid it. Like, we literally do everything in our power not to do that. The moon we work through because we don't have a choice. And typically only people that see the emotional aspect of the moon are like your spouse or me, or someone would know, parents. Saturn is where it is the gift that just keeps giving once we learn the lesson. But most people, when I meet them, they avoid it. And your Saturn is sitting in the 8th house of intimacy, death, and transformation. So not dying death, but how well do you let go of things and regenerate to something new? Or are you attached to stuff? Like, do you hold on too tight, right? And so, right, you don't like letting go, like a little bit of the hoarder in there.
Yeah, I'm like a hoarder inside.
Yes. And so there's a part of you that wherever Saturn sits, we get a little bit blocked, and it's sitting in the sign of Sagittarius, which is higher learning, higher education, foreign travel, long distance travel, higher education type of thing. And so there's a part of you that's so smart and so intelligent, yet there's a part of you that feels blocked, like you're never smart enough, or you don't know enough. You got to get more. And then it's like you hold on and you're like, but I just learned this. How do I let that go and start over again? And so this let go, start over piece that can get you in trouble. And of course, it's sitting in this 8th house of intimacy and death. So it can kind of trigger a little bit of jealousy in you. Like, why does it happen so easy for them and I have to work so hard?
Oh, yeah, I can totally understand that.
And it's not real. What Saturn is trying to say is you have these fears around emotional closeness and intimacy, right? Like, I want to be close so bad, yet I'm so afraid that they're not going to want what I'm giving. So no. Like, and there's this deep soul, right? Does that feel like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I distance myself on purpose. Like, I do it because I'm fearful of them like judging me, or whatever, even though they're not technically judging me. But it's like, okay, if I give them this, and then I start overthinking, oh, but it's not going to be enough, or oh, what if they want this instead, or whatever. And so then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna like ignore it, and I'm just gonna go over here.
Yeah. And it almost seems automatically like there's this deep subconscious level that you're unfamiliar with why you're doing it, and this is why, right? And so there's a part of you that's just super fearful of blending your life with another person, right? Yet, and kind of mixing your reality with them. Yet, like I said, that's what you truly desire. That's what you want more than anything. It'll bring you into more like intuitiveness, like learning more metaphysical, spiritual stuff. Sagittarius rules religion, for lack of a better word, spirituality, intuition, metaphysics, all that kind of stuff, and higher, something you learn beyond secondary education stuff. Like, so this would be learning above what you know. And so your lesson is to master the conscious hidden drives in you. Like, why am I really doing this? Why do I really want to be their friend? Why do I really want to be connected with my spouse at this level? Or are you married?
Yes.
Okay. So there's parts of you that want to get closer to him. There's parts of you, like, if he finds out, oh, what will happen? Like, it's this, I want it, but I don't kind of tug and pull. Right. Tug and pull. Okay. So it'll heal you deeply, right? Both you and the other person, by knowing what your true motivation is. Like, why do I really want that from them? And when you really know it's something you want for you, then it's easy to just tell them. Speaking from the I perspective instead of the you perspective. You need this for me instead of I need this for me, and I'm going to ask you for helping me be me.
And that's the key, is I always have to go back and think, okay, I need to think about me, but I interpret that as being selfish. But I'm trying to structure that it's me being selfless, not selfish. But like, there's a version of two.
Were you given a lot of rules as a child? Were there a lot of rules?
Yes, there were a lot of rules. I was the oldest of 5 kids, so I was like second mom, and so it was like very structured.
Yeah. So your lesson is to come to the realization that the true ethical evaluation that you're making, like, is that, and I'm using ethical, like selfish, like, is that is that an ethical way to live? Like, am I honestly and, intuitively, is that what's in myself, or is that what society told me? Is that how I grew up? Is that what you're supposed to do as an older child, as a helper, as being a part of the family, which is a community, right? So that community template you're using now, and you're doing the same thing now that doesn't work anymore. And so that's what the Saturn said, no, we're gonna make this real hard for her. So she finally hears it. One day she's gonna call Dawn, and Dawn and her are gonna go, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. It's that basic, but it's really that. So that family template, going, wait a minute, if I really didn't want to do that anymore, I just wanted to be a kid, what would I do? Well, you did it all as a child. You did it growing up. You had a lot of that mothering, teaching. You've got it based down. You are so good at it with your kids. So now, like, get out of that and go, wait, I can be both.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be hotspot number 2 is Saturn. Saturn is, like I said, it's the gift that just keeps giving. Once you realize you can let things go and you don't have to hold them on as your doctrine, and you go, oh, so I can write a new story, a new label, a new journey, that I can say how I feel, and then if they don't like it, I can move on to something else. Practice. Cool?
Okay.
You're like, all right. Again, I know this is really deep for you because Saturn is a secondary ruler of Aquarius, and you have an Aquarius moon. So this is a very deep emotional piece for you going, is it really okay to pick me? And today is your day. Say, yes, Dawn, I deserve it. Pick me.
Yes, I deserve it.
Yes, you do, because you do. It's really, really important that you know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a learning curve for me, but I dedicated this year to try it.
Yeah. Well, you're going to dedicate today. Starting now, I'll be watching you. So the third hot spot that we look at that I look at is Chiron. And Chiron isn't a planet, but we look at it because it's where you're wounded as a child and you're here to heal and teach others as an adult. Like, oh, I've had that wound. Don't worry. I got through it. I'm a badass now. And here, let me help you, let me teach you what I did. And so that's the best way I can say it, because it's basically like the double-edged sword in the zodiac. It's like where we're most wounded, but where we're most talented. And we're so afraid to pull that sword out and go, get the blankety blank out of the way. Okay. And so your Chiron sits in the house of money and value. Again, here we are in your value. So that's why I do these hot spots, right? I'm like, they all talk to each other on the same thing. It's the one thing we avoid, and God's like, no, sorry, not getting out of it. So it sits in the values and money house. Now, I mean, not just money like a paper dollar, like you make peas and you sell your peas and you get $1 for the peas. I don't mean like only that. It does mean that, but it also means like what's valuable to you. So, what do you value in, shall I say, for your money, in the sense of, because it's Cancer rules home and security and foundation and real estate. So for you and I both have a Cancer in the second house of money, which means I like dirt. I like houses. I like rentals. I like real estate. I like that. Safety, security for me is a huge deal. What's a huge deal for you too? Because of Chiron sitting in there. Chiron is tells me there's some sort of, like you said with your family, I didn't have enough, or there wasn't enough, or you felt like it was going to get taken away from you at some point, or there wasn't enough money, or you were told there's just not enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you make it, you're also questioning, are you going to keep it?
Right.
Or you're afraid you're going to not lose it. I don't know if that's the word, but does that make sense?
Yes, it's almost like yeah, I have it coming in, but then it's like almost like not really there. It's like it's there's still like I want the stability, but it's like I'm tricking myself that the stability isn't existent.
Exactly. That's what this is from. And so you have kind of like these ambivalent feelings towards material possessions of all things, money, things, homes, real investments, whatever it may be. Because your values, it's rooted in your values of that early childhood experience where maybe you were criticized, or painful experience about what you wanted for yourself, and then you couldn't have it because the parents were like, nope, that's just not the way it is for you. And so sometimes these issues are going to come up for you in order for you to go, wait a minute, I can have whatever I want. And I don't have to take that template and keep applying it to all of these value aspects of my life. And so it's asking you to get really in touch with, who you are and your feelings that were repressed of, like, I know I couldn't have it then, but I know that this time around I'm here to basically bring and help others take back their life and their value on all levels. But for you, because it's in the money house, this is number 2 with a moon in career and Chiron in money. It's telling me, girl, go get the money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And don't question what the number is. And you're like, well, am I really worth that? Then multiply that times 10 and charge that, right? You're overthinking something because of the template you bringing into it and not because of the truth about it.
Yeah. And that I totally resonate to that, because I do tend to overthink about, is this right? Is this not right? Am I charging, undercharging? Am I overcharging? Like, is somebody going to pay for that? Like, I constantly am just, it's a wheel that constantly spins.
And Cancer being part of that values and rules your 4th house where your sun sits. So you working from home and doing things from home, it's like a little bit of a change for you going, is it okay because I'm home and this feels really good to me? And you love being home. So you're like, well, wait, where I'm working from home and this is too easy for me, is it okay for me to charge? You're questioning all this value.
Yeah. Well, and I question too, always like, if I'm at home and I'm working, that means that I have to be double the better of housewife, and I have to have the house pristine, but then there's days there I can. It's like, and then I question myself on that end too. Then it's like overthinking and just never stops.
Yeah. Once you start nourishing yourself first, is what this is saying. Nourish you first. You'll be able to be a better parent, right? You'll be able to be a better spouse, but you're not nourishing her. And because it tells me Chiron in money, Chiron, moon in, in that career. And then the 8th house where your Saturn boulder is the other people's money, asking other people for money to make money on the money you're making, right? Like, you're questioning all these values. And so again, Chiron is in the sign of Cancer, which rules mother. So were there conflicts with mom growing up, or are there still?
Yes.
Okay. This is where you filling back into you, and not the mothering that you received, but the mothering that you want. And so it's almost like reparenting you, giving back to you, and it's okay for you to have you. And when you become like the happiness is seeping out of your energy field, for lack of a better way to say it, you're smiling, you're happier, your energy is bigger. Those kids are like, whoa, we got the best mom on the planet, right? Like, it's already in you, but you're emanating, I'm not enough, and they're feeling that. Right. So you're gonna have to take this back to not I'm gonna do things that are better for me. It's I'm going to choose things that I want, period. If I want to be home and leave a messy house and be the anti-Virgo for a week because I want to do what I want to do at my job or my company or my career, do it. Because all of a sudden you're like, wow, and nothing broke and the kids didn't die and everybody was fine. You have to have yeah, right. So you have to have a little bit of the practice sessions going on for yourself to test it, because you got to break this parenting, mothering, comfort, security rule of going, it's okay because she may have said I couldn't have it all, or she didn't have it all, but I can have it all.
Yeah. And
Aquarius is a sign of all, the mass. So there's a part of you in your heart going, I can do this better, but I'm not sure how. And the answer is just pick whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay, so that money thing, this is a big money theme going on in these hot spots karma of your chart. And it's good because you can go, oh, so I can just pick what I want. Yes, absolutely. Does that make sense on that one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then the last piece that I look at, and then you can kind of ask a few questions if you like, is for like I said, the biggest challenge going on and how they apply to this is called your North Node. And your North Node on your chart, it sits in the 11th house. You ready? The Aquarius house, public, humanitarian, helping everybody. And the North Node is basically, if I wiped everything except for the moon and the North Node off of a chart, this would be like you and you and God or you and sources deal going, okay, fine. You don't have to do all that, but these two things, non-negotiable. So the North Node is, imagine if you're growing leaves on the tree. Where it sits in that spot, we want to grow leaves, but most of us come in a past life with South Node energy, with South Node understanding, right? And in your South Node, guess ready, it's in the 5th house of offspring, of children and fun. And so you're like, I'm good at offspring. I'm good with kids. Like, yes, we're going to focus on this. And I'm really good at, it was in Virgo. And so you're really good at analyzing and keeping everything tidy and neat and focusing on the small mundane things in life. And so this lifetime around, you have to go more spiritual, big picture, higher reality. Pisces, it's in the sign of Pisces. And so you're here to grow not just leaves and a big canopy, but some peaches and plums and cherries on this tree and go, I got to make this fruitful, which means it's sitting in the 11th house of public, in the masses. And it's in Pisces, which rules spiritual, intuitive, helping people get out of their own self or imagined imprisons, right? Like whether it's an institution or you can get out of jail or you can helping people the way you do it with in and out energy going, I can fix this for you. Oh, thank you. You save them from some stupid thing they couldn't get out of in a short amount of time, right? Mm-hmm. What's even funnier is Pisces rules film. So I don't know what that means to you, but it rules like drugs. And I mean happy drugs as well as like pharmaceutical drugs, like in any type. So people who get like in delusion or really struggling with their life, you're kind of like, here's clarity, let me help you get out of that delusion, or here's a movie, or here's digital. I don't know if you do something digital with the masses, but maybe that's part of that emotional moon technology thing. Is that it?
Yeah, I think I tend to I feel like I'm a magnet for people that have issues. And
of course
I
it is. Pisces.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But I tend to I want to fix them. Okay. Listen, give me everything. I will listen, and I will give you 2 things right off the bat of how to fix it. That's just, I've been like that my entire life.
Okay. That is your South Node in Virgo. Okay. And that South Node in Virgo, am I losing you again? Let me see. I might be losing you. What I might have you do is hang up on you and call you back so we don't lose you again here. Let's see. Yeah, I think we might be losing her. So let's see. No. I'm going to have you close out if you can hear me. Yep. There she is. She'll come back. So what's happening with her, if you have a North Node, go find your North Node and find out what house it sits in, and you're going to understand where your karma is. That's what you came here. That's your life purpose on the planet. And Kristin, your life purpose on the planet is to, let me see if I can get her back. I don't want her to miss this. There we go. Here she's coming back to us. So the North Node, my friends, is basically what's uncomfortable, okay? And so let me see if she's here. Sorry about that. Sometimes we have a drop off and I don't know why. So Kristin's North Node is in Pisces and it is in the 11th house. And so what happens is when we get into these scenarios where the North Node is stuck and we feel like we're not living our purpose, that's why. So your North Node sits up in an area. Look at just the house. The house is all that matters. That's what you're here to fulfill. That sign and that house of karma. Here she is. Let's bring her back in. There you are.
Hi, sorry about that.
It's okay. So
I get spotty internet where I'm at.
I know, it's okay. It's always that way. So anyway, we were just talking about, I just kind of kept going a little bit with your North Node, but the North Node is basically what's uncomfortable with us, because most people, when they end up at my door, we water the roots of the tree, right? Your the Virgo South Node is the roots of the tree down here, poking into the 5th house of children and fun and, you know, entertainment, you know, whatever it needs to do. So it's easy for you to water those roots, water the roots, and the tree falls over, we get root rot, and we're like, I don't understand, because we have to water both ends of the tree, and the top end of the tree is up here in the public in Pisces. Okay. And it's saying, look, you've got to go and be the light, not bring the Virgo analytic spreadsheet going, I got 2 things for you, right? Instead, it's you going, this is how I got out of, this is how I raise my value, this is how I raise my worth, this is how I work quickly, online, digitally, you know, with the masses. And I bring, maybe this could also represent, because again, it not only is attracting physical, Virgo rules health, physical health, so you're attracting people who are struggling with their health. That's past life, South Node. You can bring the information, but it's got to be somewhere energetically or on a screen or digitally or, again, video or whatever, a YouTube or something where you can go look at the YouTube. Oh, this will help you, and let them choose to get your light. Okay. Instead of you fixing it. Again, North Node with leaves and making some fruit would be making a video or a website with 50 videos and go, oh, pick number 2. Oh, number 3 will help you. Send it to them and be done. Okay. That would be really helpful, because you're here to help humanity spiritually, intuitively get out of jail. And again, it could be health jail, emotional jail, financial jail, given that your Chiron is to heal that wound of finances, right? And go, this is how you do it. So it's all kinds of, I'm just using jail lightly as well. Like, imagine jail. Like I always kept myself in an imagine jail too, because I have a lot of Pisces 12th house stuff going on. And then I realized, oh, I'm supposed to help people get out of mental jail, not real jail. Do you see the difference? Like, it yes. kind of makes sense. You're like, oh, that makes sense. So it's you kind of going, how do I envision these possibilities for humanity and my family that's on a bigger level? Right, as I develop this evolutionary path of future-oriented Aquarian, future science tech, how do I help people feel better, but still do it my way from home? Mm-hmm. That's your chart. I mean, that is the core piece of this. So getting lost in the roots of the tree down, always being analytical, is what's going to get you in trouble. Doesn't mean don't do it, just means that can't be the only way. You've got to push out into the public of offering a bigger way to help people see truth.
Okay. And do you have any advice of like how to get out of those weeds? Because like I do tend to be very analytical, very overthinker. And so sometimes I have a hard time seeing and being able to get out of it. Like I'm just doggy paddling and trying mm-hmm. to stay above water, but like I don't know how to get out sometimes. Mm-hmm.
So let's figure a new way for you to help serve other people, and a new understanding of how you serve people more on a spiritual, intuitive base, right? So think of it from this perspective. Give me something someone brought to you with 2 pieces when they were like, can you help me with, and you're like, oh, I got 2 things. If you do these 2 things, it'll help. What would it be?
So I think it would be organizing their business.
Okay.
Okay. And I think just putting the pieces together. So like, say a big dreamer okay. comes and says, hey, I have this and this and this, but I don't know if that makes sense. And I could piece it together to where it makes sense and they can build it the next day.
Okay. So the business could be as simple as you walking through it on a video, and these are the steps and this is how you do it, and you sell them the video, and or you just make these videos for a lot of people and you sell that to a lot of people. It can be your consulting okay. business where you go, okay, hold on, show me what you need. Oh, I see it. Like you probably mm-hmm. see it before they see it. And you're like, well, if you just fix A, B, and C, and they can't, to them it's like, oh, I can't do all that. You're right. Like, it's not that hard. And for your mm-hmm. brain, again, Aquarius advanced emotional moon up in the career house, you're like, but duh. Like to you, it just seems logical, right? And you don't have to explain that to me because I'm the same way. So what I want you to do is go just show them on a screen, record your screen or record your steps with a video. That would include this North Node and Pisces ruling video film. And now you've double whammied, and now you've taken it off of your plate. You've given them your help, and you can back out back to you. And it's a lot faster because you're not doubling up.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it could be,
yeah, definitely.
It could be videos that you have on your own website, your own mini website that's just videos of organization, of fast, business organizational skills. And that's what you sell, or you sell a course. And here are the 4 steps. And it's not expensive, but at least it would help them, and you feel better, and you're getting paid for time that you've already put in, and you don't have to keep redoing it.
Right. No, okay. I love that. Absolutely
so
love that.
I'm using film lightly. I mean, I'm not saying go make a movie, but make a movie kind of like, I do that on my phone a lot. I use the screen record, right? And I literally will tap all the buttons to get them through the steps, because my mom's like, I don't understand. And here's the aquarium. And I'm like, oh my God. So I turn screen record on and I go tap this and then tap that. And when it opens, tap this. And I send her like a 30-second video. And she's like, oh my God, that was so helpful. That's what I see you doing at a bigger scale.
Okay.
Okay. And or someone who hires you as a consultant and you need them to do certain things for you instead of wasting your time.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that totally resonates because, I've been in the virtual assistant world for 8 years, but I just started my own business last year. And within this year, I've really gotten to, the roots of like where my wheelhouse really needs to be. And it's not more so than like just doing tasks and stuff for everybody, but I found myself really just wanting to organize people in their business and like make clarity of things for them so that way they can succeed.
You got it. So you're already there.
Yeah.
All the planets are sitting on top of you, by the way. They're all sitting on you right now to get you to do it. So you weren't off. You weren't wrong. Your chart says it. You're absolutely on path. It's just don't allow those 4 hot spots. Will take you down. And I have the same ones in different parts, right? So they will take you down if you're not diligent of going, okay, these are the 4. And again, you'll print your chart, but you can go on my website and print the 4 like description wheels going, oh, so I have 4 hot spots. And when we record this, you'll go, oh, my 4 hot spots are in these houses. And we look at your house, we go, oh, 2nd house of money. Oh, the 8th house of transformation and change, the 10th house of career, and the 11th house of public. Like if you just focus on those and go, okay, I get insecure about those topics, and then apply it to what you just said, you're fine. Then it's just keep dripping in and say, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway, and watch everything change.
Okay. Yeah. I just need to stop the wheel of overthinking.
And you'll keep being you. But now you know how to interrupt. Like I have a moon sign in Libra in the kid house. Like my kids can take me down like that, just like you, overthinking career. Could I do it? Should I do it? Could I do it this way? And they'll take you down like that. Like that wasn't good enough. And you're like, okay, so send them a new video, right? My kids can take me down like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. They are grown-ass adults with grown-ass journeys, and I need to grown-ass get out of here. Like I have to call myself out, right? You're going to have to do that to you. Go, wait a minute.
Okay.
I can call myself out and just make a new mini video and send it to them and go, this is what we decided. Oh, you're right. I didn't watch it right.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? You have to own this, and it'll change your entire reality.
And I think I need to have the confidence in myself too, because I question myself a lot. Yeah.
And of course you would, given where, like I said, you chose these hot spots to overcome in this lifetime. And to taking it more spiritual, intuitive, and saying, what do I need? And then fill that in and give it to everybody else. It'll change your game. Big time. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Does that help? Did you have any other questions? I have like 3 minutes left here.
Yeah. So I guess just my next question would be when it comes to like, family and kids, how can I best help not get in the weeds of, pushing like myself off on them. I know that you mentioned that, I tend to obviously bring like my other houses in it, and it tends to push off on them. And like, I recognize that, and I know I do that, but I need to stop that.
You want to know a fast way?
Yes.
So by the way, there's courses that I will be uploading it. So I just recorded it. And I'm recording a new one for parenting through the zodiac of what you and I just did, but to go look at your kids' chart. But there's an adult one that's called, it's on my website, so you can go if you want to sign up for the membership. But it's called Medicine Wheel is your Healing Wheel is your medicine wheel, and Zodiac Wheel is your medicine wheel. And basically, it's looking at these 4 hot spots, right? So my suggestion is to do it with your kids' chart. You can go on my website, put in their personal data so no one can see it. And it'll pull up a chart, print their chart, and go look at their houses and realize, oh my gosh, I'm very organized and driven. And I birthed this artist that I don't know where she came, like amazing artist, like, and a butterfly, and she would flit around and she was very athletic, but she wasn't into normal sports. She had to be like a rock climber and scare the crap out of me. And like stuff that just did not resonate with me. But because I knew her chart and her hot spots and who she was here to be, it calmed my own soul going, I got to let her be that. So instead of changing you, understand them. Does that make sense?
Yes, that is a great way to put
it. Because it just helps you be a better mom going, wait, okay, if I let them be them, I am actually enhancing them instead of feeling like I'm making it worse for them. Doesn't mean you take away rules. My kids had no rules in our house except for love, kindness, and compassion. And they thought those, and then they didn't realize that kind of blanketed everything. And I was like, they thought they were getting away with everything, right? And I was like, well, that's not very kind. Oh, you're right. And they would fix it right away without it being. So you can take away the I need to control them to keep them safe aspect, as opposed to empowering them to keep them themselves is a whole different ballgame. And you can do that.
Yeah. And I think, this year, as I'm getting in tune with myself, I'm also realizing, like, trying to, be on that fine line of lifting them up and empowering them, because I do have 2 boys and they're total bipolar opposite personalities. Mine too. My youngest is like that artsy, just so high energy and, all over the place. And then my oldest, he's very like, so, and like, oh my gosh, so pristine. And so, just learning to navigate both of them and like uplifting them in their own way. That's something that, I'm striving for.
Yes. And you'll see what I mean. It will make you feel better. Cause like I said, I have exactly that. 2 girls. The oldest was the butterfly, and the youngest was literally like 5 going on 35. Her whole, upbringing, like she thought she was the mom of me, the mom of her sister. I mean, she was literally the boss. And I'm like, who are you? Like, I'm not even that bad, right? So I had to go, okay, wait. She has to be her. And so they both have excelled beyond, I can't even comprehend, right, what I thought they would be when they grew up, and they're not even close, right? And so, I mean, they're way beyond what I could have even put in my brain because I let them. So that's where you're going to get to, that's what I would suggest. Like I said, I won't have the parenting zodiac course up, but it's almost identical to the medicine wheels, your healing wheel. It's down this week, but I'll share it with you privately. And I would just print both their charts and go see where their 4 houses, just those houses, not even the sign, but just like, oh, wow. Like, okay, this one needs to grow in his communication and his partnership and his spirituality and his rules. Like, he's got a lot of rules, and he has to break them. My daughter has a lot of rules and doesn't want help, yet her chart is you have to break the rules and you have to get help. And it pisses her off when I told her what the chart said. Well, I'm not doing it. But now that I keep bringing it up, she's a lot more open to it, going, okay, I see what you mean. I'll accept your help. Like, or
when is her birthday?
She's an Aries.
Oh, okay. My husband's an Aries, but it just sounds so familiar to my oldest. He's
what is he?
His date is in October 2nd.
So he's a Libra, right? So it's always about balance for him. If it gets out of balance, he tries to fix everything around him so he gets back in balance. It's the wrong way. So you got to teach him how to balance what makes him happy, and then it'll change his game, is my point, right? That was the whole my Libra moon, right? I have a Libra moon. So emotionally, when I get out of balance, the kids are out of balance, they're making me out of balance, and I got to fix them. And I'm like, whoa, I don't need to fix them. I need to fix me, and they'll be just fine. That's what you're going to have to, he's going to have to learn growing up is,
Right.
Balancing himself will change the game.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, it's one of the biggest things I teach all parents, which is learn to embrace their gifts and their hotspot challenges, because they're going to be hard for them the rest of their lives. So why not go, it's okay. You got this. My daughter's like, I'm not getting any help. I'm like, well, watch me, because this way it's going to be, right? And so because we laugh about it now, she now is broken almost like her own rule of like, I'm going to do it myself. She's not good at it, but way better than she used to be. And that's how you'll be with him. Like, okay, these 4 areas, we're just going to practice. We won't be perfect, but we're going to get better. Because what happens when when you show up and someone just lets you be you, you're relaxed. And then you can just shine, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be key. And I think that, not just for myself, but for all parents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my goal with every parent, is to just let them understand it's okay for you to have your personality traits, but go find out what your kids are, and you literally change your game. Because there's no mom alive that we don't turn into mama bears. We're like, don't mess with my baby chicks, you know, like, but the problem is then sometimes we're intervening where we need to let them go, you got this. Right. And we don't know where until you see it.
Yeah. And I think that's the struggle as a parent, is like, when is the right time to step in? When is the wrong time to step in? When is it like, when do you feel they're old enough to be able to, like, you know, embrace like that and try to handle things on their own? And I think that's just, it's something that us moms, we always kind of like dabble in our brain.
And I think it's always, you know, I think what I found growing up with kids and the kids I've worked with just in my coaching is that they just want to know you will. Right now, my kids it was only probably twice in their lifetime when I did intervene, because there was someone telling them, we have a rule in our household is can't, right? If you say can't, you can do anything and you won't get grounded. But if you say can't, big problems, and you're not going anywhere, you're not going out. Like, and they were like, they would get like, I didn't mean it, I said something else. Like, you know, we would laugh. Well, when a teacher or a something externally would tell them, you can't do this, or you can't be in this class, then mama bear would come out, because it was the external world that was affecting them and had nothing to do with them. So aside from that, I always bring parents into, it's always about giving them the power to do what they know how to do. And then if it's backfiring because they want something bad enough, even if you think they're going to fail at it, but they want it, let them have it. Right? Even if it's going to backfire. My daughter wanted to be in this class, and I was like, okay, it's hard. I don't want it. I'm like, okay, the you know, counselor's like, you're never going to make it. You're not smart enough in math. And she was like, well, my mom said I could. She's like, well, you're not. And that's when I went in and said, you're putting her in. Like, this is a negotiation. She says she can do it. We're going to let her try. Who does that? Right? And so my point is there's a point where you have to let them choose, unless it's dangerous, right? And again, I still had to let my daughter choose rock climbing, which was not the most fun to watch. I was like, she's gonna fall, but I had to trust, right? Like, so there's a part of us that we need to trust, raising them as grown little adults, going, they know in their soul what to do. Their chart has the same blueprint yours does. You know what to do. You just, the society programming got you tripped up.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So true.
So as always, like I said, I do share, it will free you from a lot. Just go on and get the, like I said, the Zodiac Wheel course. It's just down this week. It'll be back up in a week, but, and just use it and watch it and go back through these 4 hotspots with the chart I sent you. Go print your son's charts, and you'll start laughing. Oh, that is totally him. You don't really need to know like the signs. So you can go research them and go, oh, his Saturn is in, you know, Pisces in the 7th house. What does that mean? You literally can push Google and they'll tell you those four houses and meanings. So people get a little caught up in the analytics because they look so, it looks like it's a lot of hieroglyphics, but really that's why I want everyone to learn this, which is these 4 areas of your life can change everything.
Right. And just the factor of being aware, then it can help start retraining and you know, restructuring your brain and how you think and the next steps you take.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's helped me with my husband, because there are things he does, and he's a Virgo, but he's so Virgo. And then he's a squirrel Virgo because he's a salesman. And like, you guys are the salesman of the Zodiac, and you guys can sell anything. Well, he's like triple sales. So sometimes I'm like, misorganized, and he's over here like all over the board, but he's manifesting amazing stuff. So I had to go, oh, in his chart, he's a major manifester. So I need to back up because he's not going to do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
But it would get me frustrated.
Right.
Until I thought, oh, but if I don't get frustrated, act like I don't see it, he's going to bring me some goodies. So maybe I'll just leave him alone. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like that, right? We have to just kind of be open-minded, and I think it changes our game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this has been so helpful, just hearing, you know, where my 4 hotspots are.
Good.
And just, it all resonates 100%. Everything you said, I'm like, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me too. But it makes so much more sense. And like, honestly, what's funny is this couldn't have been perfect timing, because there was like that aspect in my career that I have been fluctuating with. And I'm like, I'm not sure. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Is this the right path? But like, this kind of helped me put it together. It's like, nope, I am. Like, this is, I'm on the right path and I need to do it.
Yes, it is. You are on, girl. This is the path. You are in the right place exactly at the right time. You keep going. You do not give in, and don't overanalyze it. I guarantee you, you're going the right way. So just if there's slow times and there's super chaotic fast times, just go. Okay?
Just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. All right, my dear. It was so awesome to meet you, and this will be up for a little while. So, and Megan, I'm sure we'll get you she'll be able to help us download it. If not, I will, I'll get it to you another way, and then we'll go from there. And I have you on email, so I'll forward you how to get one of those courses.
Okay, that would be great. No, thank you so much for your time today. I completely appreciate it, and I'm super excited moving forward.
Super. It's great to meet you. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.